So may I come in?
Please come, please come.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, good morning.
Good
morning.
Sit down, Harkaran Singh, right?
Yes, sir.
Don't put the hand like this, keep it in the side, okay?
Okay, sir.
Very pleasant morning.
Morning, sir. Morning.
How do you feel today?
I feel good, sir.
Why?
Because yesterday my prelims went good. That's it.
Very good. And it's going to be very good. Think like
Yes,
that,
sir.
okay?
Yes, sir.
This is a occasion to enjoy and celebrate.
Yes, sir.
Because you have done very well in prelims, not only prelims, written.
Yes,
You have
sir.
you have been called for interview
Yes, sir.
because you have done well.
Yes, sir.
Now you have to make an impact.
Correct, sir.
Harkaran, your name has any meaning?
Yes, sir.
What does it mean?
Harkaran means, sir, on behalf of God.
On behalf of God.
Yes.
Which God you believe?
I follow Sikhism.
Mhm.
And Sikhism doesn't believe in any one God, any one specific figure. It's a general one power.
How many gods are there?
So for our religion, we don't have any figure. We just believe in one true power.
What does it mean, Tattvamasi?
Tattva?
Tattvamasi.
I don't know, sir.
Okay. Bole so nihal, Sat Sri Akal.
Yes.
What does it mean?
Bhole Sohnial means everyone speaks. Sat Sri Akal means only God is the truth.
God is the truth. Satyam Shivam Sundaram. How it is related to God? Truth you told. Truth
yes.
is God. How
Yes.
truth is God?
Because that's something we can trust, and that's something which is beyond everyone. We can't question. Because everyone has their own perspective. Someone can be wrong and someone can be right. But we need one sole power whom we can trust in every situation. Maybe we can do right, be wrong, but someone is there who is seeing us and who will always protect us.
Okay.
This is the sense, like we always have someone with us. Either we are in trouble, we are happy, we are sad. We have someone on our side looking for us.
Where is the real Gurudwara in you?
Real?
Real Gurudwara or Sanctum Sanctorum?
Real Gurdwara is in our heart, I will say.
Good, very good. Okay. Harkaran, electrical engineering, what are the important devices used in a transformer?
Okay, sir. In transformer, basically it can be a power transformer, it can be lighting transformer, it can be a PT, depending upon what application we have. For a power transformer, basically we want to have the core, with the primary side and the secondary side, the coils. Then we will have the casing, the metallic casing, the oil, which is used as dielectric as well as for cooling purpose. We have bushings and for terminals. And other
Why we do
components.
step up and step down transformer while transmitting electricity?
Yes, sir. So when we produce power, then if we transmit as it like this, the currents are very high, so losses will be very high. So we want to reduce the current. To reduce the current, we need to step up the voltage. So for stepping up the voltage, we use transformer.
You were working in two organizations, junior engineer,
Yes, sir.
assistant
Three
executive engineer,
organizations. Yes.
BSNL, ONGC.
Yes, sir.
Which organization kept you happy, BSNL or ONGC?
So I was happy in both. Actually, we can't complain where we work.
Work culture in BSNL and ONGC?
It was quite similar on some part and quite different on different part.
ONGC is doing very well
Yes, sir.
and BSNL is not doing
Yes, sir.
so well.
Yes, sir.
What are the reasons for both?
The primary reason which I saw was that the area where they're working. First of all, ONGC is very financially rich. So this was the one major impact. BSNL, everyone is working hard. Like me, young officers joined there, everyone wanted to contribute. But the financial constraint kept BSNL out of the race because of such harsh competition here. But ONGC has some sort of monopoly because 60-70% of the crude we are producing. So it's like, and crude is there. So we are just extracting and we are getting very good value for that. So that's why financially ONGC is doing very well. And once you do financially well, you can make a greater impact for your company.
BSNL was also financially very rich.
Yes,
It had also
Yes,
20,000 crore profit
Yes, it has.
once in a while.
Yes, sir.
And it could have financed India's deficit budgeting.
Yes,
So
sir.
much rich it was.
Yes, sir.
What do you think BSNL leasing out or selling, I don't know, all the infrastructure to all Airtel, Jio, all kinds of private operators, Tata. And what do you think these government policy, good or bad?
I think it's good for the organization because BSNL.
Which organization?
For BSNL.
Jio?
For BSNL, I'm saying. If
How is it
because
good for BSNL?
Yes, sir, because BSNL has a very large infrastructure. So it can, if it is not presently being used to its maximum efficiency, BSNL should always strive to get maximum profit out of it, because if you get profit, then only you can buy spectrum, and then only you can compete in the present such hardcore market. So if BSNL lends out its tower, which it is doing presently, to private players, it will create a great revenue for them. So I think such practices is always good for the organization.
Okay. What are the major challenges of power sector in India? 2, 3.
Yes, sir. So the main power sector, the most of our power we are getting is from thermal energy. 60% is power we are getting from thermal energy. So thermal energy is from coal and all non-renewable resources. So this will exhaust one day. So this is one major challenge. We have to look for some alternate resources, because those are not permanent. That will only last for some time. And second is, those are not good for environment. We create a lot of pollution when we use thermal energy. When we burn coal, a lot of pollution is created. So greenhouse gases are emitted. So we want to look for the sustainable type of power, from renewable, which will not only give us good efficient power, but also it will be good for environment. So if we look forward, we need a source which is replenishable, and we need a source which is good for environment.
Okay, let us talk about environment. Environmental impact assessment and environmental management plan.
Yes, sir.
And environmental management system. What are these things?
So environment impact assessment is when we start any new project. So how that project will impact the environment. When we do social cost benefit analysis for a project, for example, a dam is upcoming, then we have to see it will create economy. Definitely it will help us create power. It will give us good irrigation, but the people will be impacted from that. How much displacement we need, how much forest area we need to do.
It's enough. So you explain.
This one I knew. Can you repeat the second one, sir?
Environmental impact assessment you explained. Environmental management system.
So I've not heard of this term, but if I can try to speak. Environment management system. So I think it's also a sort of integrated approach when environment aspects are.
What is ISO 14001?
14001 is for environment, sir.
That is EMS related. Okay.
Yes. Like quality management, environment management.
EMS is environmental management system, ISO.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then last one I was asking you one more. Environmental management plan. What is it?
A sort of when company is having a strategic policy towards the environment, like every company is having corporate
policy. Let us talk about Coal India.
Yes, sir.
What should be the environmental management plan?
For a company like Coal India, where we are mining and extracting coal. So when we extract coal, the impact we are creating on environment. This can be like we are going below the land, we are using that area. So some kind of erosion we are creating. So that is one impact. Plus when we extract coal, methane is emitted. So that is a greenhouse gas. So what impact it will create on environment? So putting all this in a one plan, and when the Coal India will have a strategy for its next 5 years, 10 years, it should consider that impact and try to reduce that impact in its upcoming projects and in new project it is taking, like for methane extraction, or if CO2 they are producing, therefore they can go for CCUS. So if they go for that plans in their policy, that they include in their policy, then I think this will be called environment management plan. They are keeping environment into consideration when they are growing.
Okay, your hobby is cycling and running.
Yes, sir.
Playing badminton, traveling and exploring.
Yes, sir.
Traveling, what did you explore?
So traveling and exploring is basically kind of my interest. It's not my hobby. So whichever place I go, whichever place I'm posted, I'm studying. So I try to don't sit at one place. I like to explore the languages, the languages of that place, the food of that place, the culture of that place. So this way, the traveling and exploring part is in me.
Team lead of business game asset level Winning group at Ongc. What does it mean? What did you do there?
So we had a business simulation game lately. So it was a 2-round game. In first round, we were tested for our analytical skills. We were given many games and challenges.
What were you doing in Ongc?
So I'm an electrical engineer, looking after operation and maintenance of electrical infrastructure.
Okay. What are the challenges you faced in Ongc while working there?
Yes, so the present major challenge what we are facing is that the main output of a plant is gas. So that gas was 20 lakhs in 2001 and presently that gas has reduced to 2.5 lakhs. So the reservoirs are depleting and the revenue we're getting, the output we are getting is reducing drastically.
That is about oil exploration and gas production.
Yes, sir.
I am asking about electrical engineer challenges.
Yes, sir. For our section, the major challenge is what we are facing is the outdating of infrastructure. Infrastructure was also procured when the plant was established 20 years ago. So that infrastructure is getting old. So that is one major challenge. And the second biggest challenge Ongc is facing in all technical sections is the retiring. All the experienced people are retiring. The age gap between my boss and me is very large. So there is few middle people are there. So when so many experienced people will retire and all the responsibilities will come on young officers. So this is a challenge as well as opportunity, I will say.
Okay.
As a team.
Winner of Ongc Chronicles AIR-88 Gate completed Dehradun half marathon. Training badminton, cycling. How badminton and cycling help you in your engineering?
Yes, so cycling helped me a lot because cycling is what I go for as my relaxation sport. Whenever I get stressed, I always prefer cycling. It clears my mind and helps me think clearly. So if I'm loaded with work or I'm stressed, cycling helps me feel relaxed. Plus, it also helps me fit. In my job, fitness is a very big requirement because we have to be on toes 24 hours. It's total field job and I have to run from one area to one place to place. Plant is very big. So being fit helps me very well. And being mentally fit, cycling and all sports make you mentally very strong. So when you are mentally strong, you can handle any challenge, whatever comes in your job. So this way.
Badminton, who is the best player you like?
So I like PV Sindhu.
PV Sindhu. International player?
International player, Yamaguchi, right, sir.
Compare the PV Sindhu with international player. Best of the international players.
Yes, like Carolina Marin, Okuhara, these are what she's presently competing with in her rank. And PV Sindhu has her very unique style of playing. She grew very fast when I first saw her playing with Saina Nehwal in Indian Badminton League. So she was, that time I thought such a good player. And now she has evolved so much in such less time. So I have always been following her. And lately, in the COVID period, she has improved her game very much. She has been doing very cross shots. And it is being seen how she has improved. She has recently won the bronze medal in Olympics. So she has.
But the bronze is not good enough now.
So it might not be good enough for us. It might be good enough for her. So because she is preparing so much, and if such a large scale, when the competition is so high, because every day is not your day. In badminton, it's not like who the best player wins. It's like who has the best day, that player wins. So if she's not having that day as her best day,
now
she might
you
have
feel
lost.
that it was not her best day.
She
not
could have
that,
won. She had the potential to win that tournament.
Okay.
So let us begin with the badminton. But before that, you said that your prelims gone very well. How much marks you are expecting?
I have not calculated the marks, but in prelims, like I always make a rough guess when I was just 2 minutes after I complete my exam to cross check myself how I analyze I do. So I think 90 I'll get in the first exam, and close to 210 I will get in.
What is your opinion about the first paper as compared to the previous year?
So I think it was quite similar because last year also many questions were like they have gone totally off the room the way they were asking GK questions. So they are testing very good things. This time what I have observed that they have taken many real life scenarios like how Supreme Court will react to different situations, what religion they have brought into picture, and how one ethical questions also they are not asking directly. They are giving you a situation and you should. So one thing I felt that me being working in a job, many questions I was able to do because I could relate, because one question was from production. So we are production plant. So I could directly relate. So that thing helped me very much. When I'm working, I can relate the same scenario to my questions.
Nanomaterial somewhere related with badminton? Okay, sir. Yeah, use of nanomaterials in badminton.
Yes, so nanomaterial, the frame of the badminton, now mostly we are going for graphite frames or carbon frames we get. So we are using like carbonate polymers as a suspension, and we put carbon fibers in them. So that fibers are nanomaterial.
Carbon fibers, they are basically nothing but carbon nanotubes.
Yes, sir.
So how the characteristic of nanotubes is defined? I want to know whether it depends upon area, it depends upon diameter, it depends upon length.
For a nanomaterial, most of its properties are derived from.
Yeah, I'm interested only in carbon.
For carbon nanotubes, from its surface area. So from its surface area to volume ratio is very high. So it has all the properties of a good surface area. Like it will be a very good reactant. It will react very fast.
Generally, carbon. Suppose we talk about carbon in the bulk state, diamond, graphite. They are mostly brittle materials,
yes,
right?
Sir.
But at the nanotube, we see ductility.
Yes, sir. We see ductility.
How is it possible?
So in allotrope forms of graphite and diamond, basically, like for a graphite, the different layers are connected. So as a single layer, they are very strong. But when many layers combine to form a structure, so that layer to layer bond is not that strong. So this makes them brittle. But when we get a single layer in a carbon nanotube, so that is very strong as well as ductile.
What do you mean by power quality?
Yes, sir. A good power quality means whatever power we are getting, it might be AC, DC at whatever voltage level. A good power quality means maintaining within specific standards. Frequency should be within this range, voltage should be within this range, and harmonics should be less than this. So this all are the factors.
What are the reasons for the generation of harmonics? So why they come into picture?
So harmonics are mostly generated by the electronic circuit, where mostly high frequency chopping is involved. So when current is not follows the
why
voltage.
Because of this high frequency? At the device level, what happens? What is the drawback because of which these are coming into?
Yes, because when we are supplying the voltage, it will always be alternating. But current is not following the voltage path, because sometimes we are allowing the current to pass and sometimes we are allowing it not to pass. We are restricting the current. So when the current restricts, the power factor will not be unity. It will we will have many waveforms for that current. If we do Fourier.
Suppose harmonics comes in our output, then what problem we will face?
It comes in our output. So when harmonics are present in our output, so from the main fundamental, we will have many other frequencies. So one problem will be we are distributing our whole power into many frequencies, but we are using the fundamental power. So a lot of power is wasted in other frequencies. So this is one is waste of power. Second will be those distortions can create problems, like for a generator, if there are harmonics. For a motor, I'm saying, for a motor, if there are harmonics, so the main fundamental will rotate the motor at one speed. The other harmonics will generate the fluxes at different speeds. So this will create a sort of vibrations in the motor, and overall its life and working.
Good. Vibrations मुझे याद है कि how can we damp vibration? What are the mechanisms to damp vibrations?
So the basic term is called dampener. It can be different for different circuits. For electrical circuit, resistor is a dampener. For a mechanical circuit,
we are concerned only up to the electrical.
Yes, so for electrical circuit, resistance is damping, because a LC circuit is basically not energy storing or dissipating device. Both are not dissipating elements. So they store energy and then they lose that energy. So this will create the alternating, the oscillating
LC circuit. This reminds me about quality factor. So what is the physical significance of quality factor of any LC circuit?
Quality factor for a inductor is like how much energy it is storing in each cycle compared to whatever it is dissipating in resistor.
Suppose we say high quality factor. What does it physically mean?
It means that inductor is a very good inductor and it has very low resistance.
Sir, please.
Harkaran? Yes, sir.
Why did you leave this first job?
How did I?
leave this first job?
Honestly speaking, this was the only job I got after my B.Tech. I didn't get any other placement in electrical company, so I wanted to join just for my experience. But at the back of my mind, I knew I wanted to continue in my stream in electrical. So after joining, after some time I started preparing, then I left and prepared fully.
Right now in the Ongc also you are getting very good handsome salary.
Yes, sir.
Then why do you want to leave this one?
I'm not leaving Ongc because of salary or work. I am very satisfied with my job presently, and I also try to contribute my best towards my job. But I think everyone should have this personal strive to grow in their career. And I think I am preparing for engineering services because this is a sort of a career as well as personal growth for me. Because in engineering,
you mean there is no growth in the Ongc?
There is a growth, but for myself, I see as a career growth for me when I join engineering services. The reason is, sir, because I will be working on the projects directly related to the growth of the country, and the domain and the diversity of the work will be very good here. So I think it's a good jump for me if I join engineering services.
Okay. Which one you give preference, personal growth or the country growth?
Country growth, sir.
Then why don't you continue in the Ongc? So
because but wherever I will contribute. My first priority will be country growth. I should look for the organization.
Very good. What is the nature of work in the Ongc?
Yes, sir. So I am posted in Tatipaka complex in Rajamundry Estate. I am basically looking after operation and maintenance of electrical infrastructure.
What type of infrastructure is there?
Yes, sir. So
electrical.
We have gas gensets. Then we have AP transfer power incoming 11 kV supply, which we convert into 440. Then we have power transformer, which is transforming the power. We have distribution. We have ETP, the effluent treatment plant.
Very good. Have you ever seen the nameplate details of the transformer? What specification they provide?
Basically, primary side, secondary side voltages and turns. Then the rating of the transformer in VA. We have the connection, the delta connection or star connected. Then we have the type of cooling, on-AN, on-AF, whatever cooling we are using.
Okay. And some of the transformers, what they do, they provide the kVA rating. Two types they provide. Suppose there is some 80 kVA as well as 120 kVA. Why they provide the two ratings? Have you ever come across?
Two kVA ratings.
On the same transformer, they provide the two ratings. Have you ever come across that one?
No, sir, I have not seen.
Then why that rating expressed in terms of volt amperes?
Because for a transformer, we don't know for what power factor we will work. So basically the rating is basically decided by the heating capacity. Only V into I will generate total capacity of the transformer. So whatever power factor may use, high or low, VI should be fixed.
Okay, very good. What is synchronizing power?
Whenever a synchronous machine, a motor or a synchronous alternator, whenever it is rotating, if there is any sudden jerk, so power is suddenly the source power is reduced, or there is a jerk in the output power, so suddenly that power will not be fetched from the source. That inertia is there, so that power will immediately go from the rotor inertia. So that rotor will not now be moving at synchronous speed. So that the field will try to bring it back to synchronism. So that power which tries to bring the machine back into synchronism is called the synchronizing power.
What is the importance of this damper winding in that salient pole type of the alternator?
Yes, sir. So damper winding has basically two purposes. First, like we discussed, if there is a loss of synchronism, it will work as an induction machine, and it will create the torque to bring it back to synchronism. And damper winding has second purpose. It can be used for starting of the synchronous machine because they are not self-starting machines.
We are discussing about synchronous generator.
Yes, sir.
The synchronous generator damper winding used for starting purpose.
So synchronous generator we are not using for starting. I was telling the
okay. Then what about the cylindrical pole type of the generators? Is there any damper winding?
No, sir.
Why?
Because that is a whole steel core, so that itself acts as a closed loop circuit. So eddy currents can be produced, and the same purpose of damper winding is being done.
Okay, very good. What is the difference between grounding and earthing?
Yes, sir. Grounding, earthing we basically use for the protection purpose for an equipment. Like all the equipments like we are using in our plant, the metallic structure of all the equipments have been earthed. If there any static electricity.
What are the types of earthings?
Types of?
Earthings.
Yes, sir. What are the types of earthings?
Yes.
Earthing can be through resistor, through and direct earthing connection, or it can be through a resistor, it can be through inductor, it can be through a resistor. So these are the types of.
Okay, no problem. Why the synchronous motor is not self-starting?
Yes, sir. Synchronous motor is not self-starting because the starting torque which it is producing is pulsating in nature. So it will try to.
Why? Any specific reason?
Because synchronous torque will be only in one direction when the rotor as well as stator speed is matching. The speed of the flux should be constant with respect to each other.
Okay.
Only if two fluxes are stationary with respect to each other, only that time synchronous torque will be produced. But for a synchronous machine, the rotor standing at start, the EMF is not rotating, the rotor is not rotating, and the stator EMF is rotating.
Okay.
So that angle is changing constantly. Sometimes we try to rotate it clockwise, and in next cycle anti-clockwise.
Okay.
So this will not create any synchronous torque to rotate the rotor.
Okay. What is the difference between the reluctance motor and synchronous motor?
Yes, sir. The synchronous torque, both torques are produced at synchronous speed only, but in synchronous torque we require rotor EMF as well as stator field. The both will interact and rotate the rotor. But in reluctance motor, if the field of the rotor is for some reason not there, it can be problem, or we are not using that field, then also rotor can rotate if the reluctance, it is a silent pole rotor.
Okay.
So for a silent pole rotor, the reluctance will not be same in each direction. So when the stator field is rotating, it will also try to rotate the rotor so that the reluctance is minimum and inductance is maximum. So this torque is called reluctance torque.
Okay.
Here, Karan,
Yes, sir.
you worked in BSN.
Yes, sir.
Okay, what was your profile,
Yes.
job profile?
So I was posted in Savantwadi, and my job role was in Savantwadi. We had 23 rural exchanges. So all 23 rural exchanges, they were very remote areas, and they were not having any mobile connectivity, most of them. So they were solely dependent upon BSNL broadband and landline connection. So I was looking after operation and maintenance of those 23 exchanges, the rural areas of Savantwadi.
All are electronic equipments.
Yes, sir.
But you, as an electrical engineer, what was the role?
Yes, sir. So again, in 2017 GATE, this was the only job I got from my GATE rank. So I thought instead of waiting for the perfect job for me, I should always try to learn. So I was. You
had a training in BSNL?
Yes, sir. We had 2 months training. So in that training also, because the core basics was engineering is same for all the branches. So in 2 months training, even I didn't had much knowledge of electronics, but they gave us very good knowledge. So I was able to perform very good in handling those exchanges. Electrical part was minimal. I could not contribute much with my electrical knowledge, but with the training and with all the experiences, because most of the management jobs, they're techno-managerial jobs.
Okay,
You can learn parallelly from experiences and all. But management, you have to.
For shrinking of BSNL,
For
the shrinking of
Yes,
the BSNL, is the role only from the government side or any non-proper working culture of employees?
There are 2-3 reasons. Government role, as you say, the support was expected more from the government on BSNL, and non-proper is proper
Improper.
culture. Improper culture is like sir also said in the beginning, earlier BSNL was dominating its field because there was not much competition. So whatever service we were giving, people satisfied or not, we were happy. But as competition grew, people were expecting more services at minimal prices. If they complain now, they want the problem to be solved on that day. But the majority of the people in BSNL were not used to this type of culture. This was a sudden quantum jump for them.
People not
yes,
trained properly, probably.
They were not
accountable also.
They didn't work in that culture for a long period
and
of
accountability
time.
Also they are not having.
Yes, accountability is also less. Plus there is also one sort job safety is there. So motivating factors were very less to go and keep the people with us.
Okay. So what is the difference between Laplace transform and Fourier transform?
Yes, sir. Fourier transform is only on j omega axis. Only we are distributing into different frequency elements for a stable system. But Laplace transform can also be done for a non-stable system, where we use the sigma component if there is an exponential part. This can be exponentially decaying or exponentially increasing. So using that real axis sigma help us to understand any system. It can be stable, unstable, all types of system.
With respect to communication system.
Yes, sir.
What is Laplace transform and Fourier transform?
For a communication system. I can't generally, I'm not able to relate for specific.
Fourier transform, where we are having the usage generally?
If we want to distribute the system into various components of its frequency, if we want to do for communication, Fourier transform gives us the frequency spectrum. So if we want to do TDM, FDM, multiplexing, we want to do. So frequency, this Fourier transform analysis helps us design filters for specific frequency we want. We have to reject one band. So frequency, this is how.
What is the convolution?
Convolution is when two linear time invariant systems are input is there and system is there. So when a system passes through a linear time input to a linear time invariant system is a linear time input. So output will be the convolution of both two.
What is a linear time invariant system?
Yes, a linear time invariant system, first it should have linearity, it should follow superposition. Time invariant means if there is a change in time for t minus 2, t minus 3, so the output should also shift by same time period.
Okay. You know power amplifiers?
Yes, sir, I heard of power amplifiers.
Okay. What is harmonic distortion?
Harmonic distortion is when harmonics are generated in a system at the input when power is absorbed, like at chopping.
In an amplifier, what is the reason for harmonic distortion?
Okay, sir. In amplifier for a power harmonics, harmonic distortion.
No, if you don't know, no issue.
I can try it.
Okay.
In an amplifier is basically an electronic circuit like a BJT or something.
BJT only.
Yeah. So BJT will have, it is a bipolar device.
Okay.
So it will have many noises like thermal effect noise and the short effect noise. So these noises will create a random motion of electrons.
Okay, one hint. We want, suppose we are giving sinusoidal signal. We want sinusoidal signal.
Yes, sir.
System should be linear.
Yes, sir.
Can you correlate this?
Yes, sir. If system on the onset of non-linearity, we will not get the sinusoidal output. And if we are not getting sinusoidal output, all harmonics have been generated in the system due to non-linearity of the system we get.
Non-linearity between which parameters?
Non-linearity of the system because...
System because of some parameters only, na?
Yes, sir. Okay, because non-linearity can be due to for a magnetic saturation can be a reason for non-linearity.
Magnetic saturation is not involving in the amplifier.
Yes, sir. In amplifier,
suppose if you take common emitter amplifier,
yes,
then you can answer.
Yes, sir. So non-linearity because there is a limit to what output we will.
The relation between IC and IB,
yes, sir,
is not linear.
Not linear. Yes, sir.
For a limited portion, it may be linear.
For a small region only, we get. If we get a small fluctuation, we'll get
good. What is crossover distortion?
What is
crossover distortion? Okay, no issue. You know DMA, direct memory access?
Yes, sir.
What is it?
So when the CPU is not very fast and the peripheral, the input output, it wants to use the memory. It shall not wait for CPU to come as a mediator. It can directly access the memory. So this is called DMA access.
Okay. What is memory mapped IO and IO mapped IO?
Yes, sir. For a processor, when the input output is thought of as a memory, the addressing is same for memory as well as input output. We are using the same bus and same thing we use the memory signal only to assess both of them. This is called memory map. But when input output have been given specific address range, 8-bit range, and memory mapped specific range, we use M signals for this and IO signals to assess input output. So
in which case we are having more memory addressing?
More memory addressing we will have for memory mapped, sir.
Not IO mapped IO?
Because then we are differentiating both of them.
Then in IO mapped IO only we are having more addressing space.
Okay, sir.
Is it not? We are reserving some addresses to IO.
Yes, sir.
In the case of memory mapped.
Specific addresses all have been given to memory.
Separately.
Yes, sir.
So we are having more addressing space in
input output.
IO mapped IO.
IO mapped.
Okay, good. Okay, sir.
Okay. Your interview is over.
We
will call you after a minute.
Okay, sir. Okay. I'll wait up.
Thank you, Guru.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone.
Harkaran, come and sit down.
Thank you, sir.
How much you expect? interview?
It's up to you.
No. You have to say.
You are also working. You may be
Yes,
recruiting
sir.
somebody sometimes.
Suppose you were in the one of us. What would you give yourself?
Out of total score.
Out of
200.
200.
Because 2-3 mock I have given. So I think considering that, I think I'll give myself 120.
140, the expert board decided to give you.
Okay, sir. So good.
But that doesn't mean that that is the limit.
Yes,
There is possibilities.
Yes, sir.
Possibilities. What are the possibilities? Let us think about. One possibility, you have won Ongc tie.
Yes, sir.
That will obviously generate questions on Ongc.
Yes, sir.
You can generate questions on Ongc, and that is good.
Probably your purpose is also same. I think.
Yes, sir.
But sometimes they may ignore also.
Yes, sir.
Today I first thought watching to ask. Then I thought that you may be prepared.
You are
for
still
ONGC
working in
opportunity.
Ongc.
Yes, I'm working.
But what do we suggest? Ongc tie should be used or not?
Not good, probably. So
Probably
they may-
you match your suit and turban tie.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Your profile talks about you are from
Yes, sir.
Ongc.
Yes, sir.
When you are given a chance also you can say.
Yes, sir.
But by exhibiting,
Okay.
ask me, I am from Ongc.
okay.
That is something not
It may
for you.
also trigger someone to totally avoid ONGC,
Okay, sir.
Or,
like I did today.
or they may be hostile to you, asking so many complicated questions on Ongc.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Don't do that.
Okay.
I think advertisement, no need. You are not
Yeah,
advertising.
exactly.
Yes, sir.
We are not
No,
advertising.
I'm
Are
just
you
wearing,
advertising?
I'm wearing only for pride.
In your profile, anyway, it is there.
It is there.
Yes,
it is
sir.
there. Huh?
Your performance.
You match your turban and suit.
Okay, sir.
You have worn very well, nice suit and all, but collar, you see yourself very loose,
Okay, sir.
not properly done. And we don't want a good candidate losing marks on
On this
not
reasons.
properly buttoning the collar, not wearing the right kind of shirt, right matching turban tie, this, that.
Okay, sir.
And beard you groom or you should not,
Groom.
as per religious purpose.
Groom means, yeah, I've set my beard. It's very long. And I've dyed it.
Okay.
Yes.
That all at the time of interview, that. That is all about that. Then Haryana power sector, Sirsa, all these DAF preparation is very important for you because you have to get maximum marks. Okay. Rajahmundry, all these places. Okay. And here Bathinda has so many fertilizer plant.
Yes, sir.
So many things are there in
Yes, sir.
Bathinda. So DAF preparation should be fine. Then exploration, you have told something about exploration. There are more points in exploration.
Yes,
okay. They can ask who explored Africa, who explored,
Yes,
how America was discovered, or anything. Exploration is a very big term.
Yes, sir.
It's only so that all your DAF related, hobby related. We have asked some questions. Sindhu, you told, but there are many questions can be.
Yes,
Nobody
sir.
can imagine even.
Yes, sir.
But if you answer basic fundamental questions, other questions you can avoid. It won't reduce your marks.
Okay, sir.
This is all I want to say. So Tiwari sir will say,
Nano
we are giving you 140.
Okay.
Nano material I was not interested. You will give very generalized answer. For all nano materials, surface to volume ratio is high.
Yes, sir.
I tried to focus on carbon. Even I said that carbon. It will keep in mind. Nano material may be asked a question. You see, this year even in prelims they were having that focus. In nano material, you have to keep in mind the dimension which is in the nano range. That plays the crucial role in determining the character. So, in case of carbon fibers, the dimension which is in nano range is diameter. So, diameter is going to play the crucial role in determining the property. So, if we change the diameter, then the things. Obviously, ultimately, surface to volume ratio will be affected, but that becomes generalized, not a specific percentage. And your answers are very good. Keep continuing. I expect that कि आपने जो prelims दिया है, आपको देने की जरूरत ना पड़ेगी इनसे. You will get good like this year itself.
I want to say one more point. BSNL, sir was asking you, BSNL, Ongc and all. Both of us, so many of us asked. What you need to say that you understood engineering, job, challenges in BSNL, electronics, whatever you learned a lot. from BSNL.
Yes, sir.
Experience in Ongc was equally exciting.
Yes, sir.
You learned a lot. You have to learn more.
Yes,
You
sir.
have to contribute. Your individual growth and the country's growth are identical. If you contribute,
Yes,
Mr. Sridharan, the technocrat,
Yes, sir.
contributed so much for India as a technocrat. It was his personal growth.
Yes, sir.
It was country's growth. You must have used the metro. It is his contribution
Yes, sir.
to the country. He is a metro man. That is his personal growth.
Yes, sir.
So it is all identical. When
And one big concern. Sorry, sir.
Okay.
One big concern. While answering amplifier, you were not comfortable. You may have skipped that question. It's not necessary to answer all
Okay,
the
sir.
questions. Sir. That was totally absurd. Magnetic
Yes, sir.
saturation.
Yes, I also felt
Where
this
do
thing.
you
Yes,
get
sir.
magnetic saturation in amplifier?
Yes, sir.
So if you are not comfortable, skip the question.
Okay, sir.
Harkaran, excellent. Everything is fine. From my side, 2 suggestions.
Yes.
For few questions, what you are doing, you are giving very long answers. If possible, concise career. And one more thing, sometimes you are doing much hand movements.
yes, I also wanted to say that.
Thoda.
Okay.
Hand movement,
Remaining everything
discipline
very
your hand. You are good at communication. Why hands?
Okay, sir.
But these are two
And you
suggestions from my
started
side.
talking many times. Very much.
Okay.
I missed that. You were very
Controlled words, less words.
right words, minimum, like a technocrat. Use technological phrases.
Yes.
So,
Harkaran, your answer about the BSNL shrinking, without anybody suggestion, you must able to speak those few things. You are able to speak few, but not everything.
Okay, sir.
People will blame only government, but there is a blame when there is a problem with the employees in
Yes, sir.
improper work culture and everything. And see, EDC analog part is concerned, you are not up to
Yes,
the
sir.
mark, but
Yes.
we can do. Whenever I am asking, my question was about the Fourier transform, Laplace transform, you are relating to only electrical part.
Okay, sir.
So, person is asking about the electronics.
Okay.
So, better to answer related to the electronics, particularly communication. And microcontroller didn't ask any question, but microprocessor question, your answers were good. You can do best. When you are having interview,
I'm having on 14th of March.
Oh,
both
sufficient.
times.
you should get 160, 170. Okay, prepare well.
sir.
Read MADEEASY questions.
Okay, sir.
Okay, answer them.
Hopefully, we'll get very good service. As sir already said, no.
Thank you so much, sir.
Wait for-
You will get, because your questions are more or less predictable. BSNL, Ongc, read their annual map, annual report, website,
Okay.
and all the electronics, electricals involved in it, and why they are doing well or not doing well.
Okay.
BSNL, by leasing out all its infrastructure to these companies, it has lost because it couldn't use it. That is one, as sir was telling, they were not interested in using optimum use. It was 20,000 crores cash-rich company.
Yes, sir.
When Chidambaram was finance minister,
Yes,
I
sir.
was looking after BSNL as its performance.
Okay.
It was a big company. That time finance minister was suggesting that the entire resource we will use for budget deficit.
Okay.
Such a company lost MTNL, BSNL, all government companies, Air India, SPI, IOC, ICICI, STFC, all big.
Yes,
So
sir.
there is not that it is all, everything is goody-goody.
Yes, sir.
There are certain things
All
which are
aspects. Yes.
adverse also. As a critical engineer, you can give positive
Yes, sir.
and negative.
Yes.
Its infrastructure has not been fully utilized by the present kind of employees. You can say that.
Okay, sir.
So it has been outsourced. Others, they are using well.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all the
If
best.
you are given 5 points, 3 good points, 1 or 2 critical analysis also. That will show your balanced personality. Otherwise,
Okay.
it will show that you are very much seeing
Pro-government.
positive side.
What is critical analysis?
Except told
Balanced, yeah.
Balance.
अभी आपका भी हमने बोला अच्छा है, but caller
Okay.
take SWOT
Okay.
analysis.
Okay, okay.
SWOT.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Opportunities, risk, everything.
Yes, yes, yes.
Good and bad. Okay, balance.
Yes.
Okay, all the best.
Good luck.
Thank you so much, sir.
All the
Thank you.
best.
Have a nice day, everyone.
Okay.
This year
You
we
don't
are-
say that to the board. Okay,
Okay.
हम लोगों को ठीक है.
Okay.
कभी भी UPSC को don't equate with the board members.
Okay.
They may be very nice to you,
Okay.
but you always keep a distance, a professional distance.
Okay, sir.
You are being assessed. Okay?
Yes, sir.
They are
Yes.
superior. They look at you as a aspirant, so you are being judged.
Okay.
Never take the privilege of equating with the board.
Okay.
Say, thank you, sir. That's it. Okay?
Okay. All the best.
Thank you.
Next.